Hey, this is Scarf Dorothy Bonsai. In this video, we'll be talking about the Fujifilm X-T2. Thanks to Cameracraft in Rockford, Illinois for letting me try this out at their shop. X-T2 is high up in Fujifilm's lineup. Definitely a little pricey, but has a lot of function, a lot of features for that price. Of course, you got the nice magnesium alloy build, solid features. You got the weather resistance. You have a lot of direct control, which I really like in a camera. On the right, you have the ISO dial with a lock. Under that, you've got the modes. On the left, you got the shutter speed dial with a lock. And then you have metering under that. Of course, with aperture in this lineup, the prime lenses have an aperture ring, but on the zooms, you'll probably have to use one of the dials. And of course, this camera has two dials on the right for adjusting settings like that in those cases. It does have the autofocus joystick nub. I have that on my Fujifilm X100F. Really nice to have. Of course, a big feature here is the dual card slots. Definitely great in a professional setting or any case where you want to back up your photos on two cards. It does have the tilting screen. It isn't fully articulating, but it's nice to have the vertical adjustments. Either for video or photos, it really helps out. This camera uses the MPW126S batteries, same as my Fujifilm X100F and a few other cameras in this new line of Fujifilms. Very nice that they're using the same battery for these cameras. It has a really nice large electronic viewfinder, 0.77 magnification. Fujifilm has been really pushing their video recording in this recent roundup of cameras. In this case, you have 4K video at 30 frames a second, 100 megabit. You can record for 10 minutes, but if you get the grip, you get more batteries, of course, but you also get 30 minutes of recording time and a jack for monitoring the audio, so that's pretty cool. They do have their own F-Log profile, which is a flat profile, of course, allows you to adjust the video in post much more than a standard profile. This camera does use the standard Wi-Fi application. I've used it on my X100F. It's decently featured. Really doesn't have a lot for the video side of things, but not too bad. I really do see this camera hitting that threshold of a professional level camera, especially with the dual card slots. Extremely fast performance. Decent imaging sensor inside, 24 megapixel. It's the same one as my X100F, but still I can see the quality is there for professional work, of course. I do think Fujifilm did a great job with this camera. Really checked all the boxes to get that professional level of features and functions that people need. So if you are considering changing systems or you really haven't got into a certain system, if you're okay with APS-C moving forward, I do think this is a good option because it's a pretty compact camera, especially even with this more advanced level, it's still relatively small. It's InJScript, it's very nice looking aesthetically, but it also backs it up with a lot of features. That said, I do like this camera quite a bit. So if you're interested in these, definitely check them out. See if it really works with your hands, all the control and all that. So that was the Fujifilm X-T2. Again, thanks to Cameracraft for letting me try this out at their shop. I'm Scott from Photography Bonsai. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That really helps me out. Of course, the thumbs up and sharing is also great. Thanks again.